There it is, 13th day of September. I'm gonna go out here. We had 2 inches of rain on this since the 7th of August. It's not enough rain. Anyhow, you can see the field did germinate, and might got a chance of some rain. It's got a little velvet leaf in here, but not much. Here's the destination. You can see some of the brassicas are trying to grow, but it's awful dry. Awful dry. It's bone dry. And the reason you can see a pretty good infestation of brassicas coming up in there. And so we'll get to cranking on the 13 because it's going to need all the help it can get. We're going to crank this fertilizer on 13, a couple 100 pounds down through here. Now it's so dry, I got to take a chance. They're saying spotty showers, so you got to use anything to your advantage. And I'm really glad this year came out this way in one respect, because it really shows you the trials and tribulations of fall food plots. And it's getting tougher and tougher every fall with these dry falls back to back. And down here in southern Iowa, it is, you know, I'm not whining, I'm just explaining. But what I want you to take away from this is you keep trying, but there's, you know, the old man up above, he has control of what your efforts are, but you've got to put forth the effort. The reason I got the sunglasses on, because I don't want the fertilizer blowing in my eyes in the mask. Long sleeves, long pants, because that stuff burns. Well, the wind's blowing out of the south pretty strong, so we're going to start, and we'll let the wind going to drift to my left. That way I'm not in the wind. So let's get cranking it on. Now I only go down to that tree, and then I'll move the tractor down there, and that way I don't have to carry fertilizer all the way back there and back. And as I go, if I see any velvet leaves, I'll be picking them up. That's what I'm doing. Now you can see we're at this tree now. Now we'll do this second half. That saves you a lot of walking. Trying to, that way, keep moving without covering the same two affirmatories. Boy, did that conceal. That really did its job. Now you can see the effort from the 13th of May when we planted the beans, and that conceal is all headed out and come out pretty good. The beans are starting to yellow, and we want to get this. I'm going to crank that forage oats down through here because I don't want the leaves on the ground. I want to beat that, so that way I'll videotape the oats will be on that bare ground, and then the leaves will fall on them. Then if it rains, then it's got seed to soil contact. Look at this dirt and all these acorns. Oh boy, the deer have been gravitating to them. These are white oaks, and all those, that deer track, got all deer track in there. And there was those, they're dropping. And they don't drop every year, but I'll tell you what, they're being fed up on. I should put a camera here, but you should do a lot of things. It's only 24 hours in a day. We're going to tear this out, this backfield back here. This is nothing. but water hemp. There's nothing, no oats germinating either. They got ate off, but there are a few borascas up there. We ain't gonna risk nothing, because basically, like I said, all this green glaze right here, nothing but weeds. So we're going to set up, tear this corner out and plant it with no plow. The big cracks are still out here, so we really don't have anything to lose, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. Let's get it tore off. We'll go down through here too. See. Nothing germinated here. You can see where the forage oats really germinated, and you can see where nothing has happened. So we'll tear this out and plant it, get it tore up and get it planted with the forage oats. Yeah, we're going in here with no plow, and that means minimal amount of tillage. And the nice thing about it, let's see, we're still on that planting date. We're in Iowa, 17 you come down here, that goes to August 1st to September 16th. So we're still in that planting window. So we'll get this tore up, no plow. You know, you can do minimal amount of tillage on this, but the more tillage you do, the better off it's likely to be. But we'll start running a pulverizer over it. Well, that didn't take long. Now I'm debating whether I should tear up the other spot. But, we are with our Whitetail Forage Oats Plus, cold tolerant, high sugar, extremely attractive to deer, top performance, intensive testing, rapid establishing growth, immediate attraction as soon as it's planted. Okay, but here's the nice part. Here's Iowa. And Iowa goes from September 1 to October 1st. September 1 to October 1st in this area. Let's walk over there. And you've seen what the no plow was. It was clear up to the 16th, which today's the 13th, so we're still in that window. I just want to walk over this because, you know, now there's some borascas in there, but it's just see the deer been in here, but boy, I tell you what, we get up in here, there's more weeds. And like I say, that water hemp, it grows really tight to the ground. When I mowed it off, it just spread out. See how it spread out? Now, if we can get that out of there. Yeah, I knew we couldn't because that's so deep rooted. But that mowing, we did do the good on the weeds. I mean, on the velvet leaf. But now we're going to take, oh, I know what this was. This was for the mower mode. That's what that scuff is. Now we're going to take it all out. And I'm really glad this happened. And people will say, well, he's crazy. Well, yeah, I am that too. I've always been crazy, as the song goes. One step in front or one step behind. But we got enough seed, and we'll overseed it. We'll put forage oats on, and the no plow, because no plow has a mixture in there. But like I said, this right in here, it's a no-go. Rip it out. And it's not the end of the world. There's people trying to rebuild their homes and stuff that have been flooded out. That's far more crisis than a food plot not germinating. But this is what can happen when you do your best. Now we'll fertilize this. We already had it fertilized, but I'll put some fresh fertilizer on it right now. And then work that into the ground. And then we'll turn it under, because there's not enough tonnage there to worry about. If it stays dirt, it stays dirt. But there, we got the beans. And the beans are producing. They've been cropped off, but they still got a lot of beans. Something along the edge has been cropped off. That's why it's so critical to be diversified. Because it's just, well, it's just the way it is. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Let's get to put the fertilizer. Well, here we go with some more fertilizer. Boy, I wish it was that green and it was pure attraction all up through there, but it's not. And you can't lie to yourself, so let's get some fertilizer going. That turnip been planted since August 7th. Should be a whole lot bigger than that. Well, let's get the field tilled up. You see what it looks like now? We'll turn it under. Wow, that's such a big difference from, I want to show you this soil as I kick it around. It's just unbelievable. Just a little bit ago the wind was blowing. I was on the tractor and I didn't have time, but I want to show you how dry this dirt is. There you go. There's some dust blowing around. It's just swirling. Well, it just didn't look to me like it was worth trying to save. And that's the backup plan. We won't have the brassicas, the turnips per se, but possibly we'll have the oats and the no-till got a blend in it. So let's get to cranking it on. You can see here, this has got quite a bit of mixture in it. And let's say it's minimal amount of tillage, but what we're going to do when we get this done is loosens the soil, is we're going to crank the oats on it too. Then we're going to run the colopactor over it just to cover it lightly and pack it down. So there's quite a variety in there, and the nice thing about it, like I said, we're still in the planting date. This bag does a half acre, which is 22,000 square feet, so we got plenty of seed to go on. And you got to have that backup plan, that's for sure, folks. You can see in the bag The seed is rain coated. So there's a clover seed in there, quite a bit of different seeds in there, rape, ryegrass, and then we're going to put some forage oats in over the top. But boy, I tell you, it's a tough year for growing food plots in southern Iowa. So nice for this to fail like that. Like I say, my stuff ain't Hollywood. It's in the field, the real deal. And to share this with people, look at that dust out there blowing across there. Yeah. Let's get to cranking the seed on. Not often do you plant the same field twice, but that's the way it goes. There's the oats. We're going to go up through here and broadcast some forage oats on. Like I say, they had quite a long longevity of still being able to get them in the ground. So. So dry, I'm afraid if I dragged the drag I could bury that oats deeper than recommended, and I could, if I drag it, that little grain could get deep too, because it's just really powder. So I'm going to colipact it and we'll go with that. Yeah, that ought to get it covered. You don't want to, it's covering the oats some. Notice they got some dirt over them. If that dust, it rains, they'll get covered up. But as you walk out here, you don't see hardly too many oats. And all that does, it throws a little dirt over because it's got serrated teeth, but it packs that little seed down, just presses it down. And that's all in this loose soil. There ain't any need to do any more than that. Like I say, those, you got the weight here, you got these here that fill in dirt, and you can pick these colipactors up fairly cheap. I converted that over a 3-point hitch so I can lift it up in tight quarters. But it's so dusty I didn't want to drag the harrow over this because I was afraid that it could cover up the stuff too, or the little seed definitely too deep. But they went with no plow on here, which has got quite a bit of blends in it, and the more tillage you do, the better it'll be. But you can do minimum amount of tillage, and that target date, we still had 3 days in that, plus the oats we still had the whole month of September. So we're going to run down here and do some more colipacting on this end and get this stomped down. We had to reload, and I'm glad that happened, because I'm sick and tired of these people telling you, poor man, easy man, one step does it all. I don't care. That ain't so. So you got to see firsthand that that wasn't so. Perfect conditions on the 7th of August. Then bottom fell out. 4:30, September 13th. Just worked that plot up. Now, you can definitely see the value of perennial clover. That clover will be raised upon, whereas if your other plot fails, you know, that's the way it goes. Plus, the hedge apples, the natural forage, you know that the hedge tree is loaded. You've got all kinds of natural mass crops, so it's not a completely washout, because Mother Nature made a lot of acorns this year. And back up here I can show you these hickory nuts. The ground's just covered with them. So you got to be diversified. Like I said, here's the hickories, the nuts, they're all over the ground. Now the squirrels are eating those, but there's definitely a bunch of them. And there's still a bunch on the trees. So between the white oaks and the hedge apples, you got a lot of natural forage out there. But that's really interesting. Right there is your perennial clover, and there was your annual. So that's going to put a rabbit on it on the 13th day of September. At almost halfway through September, got two weeks and 2 days. It'll be October 1st, beginning of archery season. And I hope you learned something from this right along with me. You got to keep trying. We're going to walk down through here, and what we're going to do, you see this bare ground in these beans? We're going to cast forage oats in here, and we'll just broadcast them in here, and they'll fall on this bare ground. Some will germinate, some won't. But the idea of that is, see these leaves are starting to yellow? You notice the beans are made, so they're a done deal. Now, as these leaves start to turn yellow, they're going to fall off. Well, we want to get the forage oats broadcasted on prior to those falling off. And that way, if it rains on the forage oats, that'll help. Plus then the leaves will fall on it and cover them up, and they will germinate up through there. But it's real critical to get these forage oats on here while the beans are right at this stage, because it ain't going to take long for these to dry up and burn down. Now this will really come into play when the beans are browned down, the leaves are off, the beans are being mature, the deer will eat them to the ground, bean pods, stem and everything. Plus they'll have the forage oats to browse on late into the season. I don't care about killing anything off of here. I just want to get ground cover on and have something for the late season. And when I say late season, I'm talking January, February, and into March. Hunting season has nothing to do with it. But we'll get to cranking these forage oats on. But like I said, you want to get them on while the leaves they're just starting to turn yellow. And we got about 3 more 90-degree days coming this weekend. And that's really going to make those brown down, because it's that time of year. Photosynthesis is being shortened. The days are getting shorter. The sunlight's not available. And the beans are designed to, 90-day crop or beans of germination, from germination to pod and or beans. So it's really critical to get these oats on if you're going to do it right now. Yeah, I put the beans or these oats on fairly heavy. Some will germinate, some won't. But you want to do it when it's dry, maybe a little wind. That way they'll fall down through the leaves. The rain will knock them down in there too, but at least they'll get down on the soil. And like I say, I don't have a formula to how many oats per acre, but I got enough to do about 3/4 to or an acre, and I'm putting that on. Like I say, it won't grow in the bag, but I know I've done this before and it works. And boy, it really is a neat deal. Just have when the beans are gone, all you're going to see is bare ground. But this is sort of like a cover crop, and it will fall down on the ground, and the rain, hopefully if it does start raining, will get some germination. Yeah, when I get out there, you're really going to see how deep, how high those beans are and how prolific they grew. Thank God. They're waist deep. There's a bare area in here. Wow, that makes for an interesting walk, I'll tell you that. Those beans are really high, and they're full of beans. So let's get the rest of them on. Skies are cloudy. I don't know. Boy, that can seal. Look how tall that is. It's almost as tall as that cedar tree. It's half as tall as it is. That really come in handy. And like I said, I built the screen that way. Then I went on down there and screened that whole bean field and this whole forage oats field there. So that worked really good in a drought.